This is going to be a very different fish room walkthrough than any I've ever done, because I'm going to show you the underbelly, the dark side of my fish room. This is something that I don't normally share, but I think maybe by sharing it, it'll actually move me into action and inspire me to get it taken care of. But let's take a look at some of the stuff that, some of the parts of this fish room that I normally wouldn't share with you. Normally I keep the focus entirely on the fish, like it should be. But there's a side to this that I really need to get onto, and I'm going to go ahead and just show it to you. Let's go ahead and start with behind this tank, behind this 300-gallon, 7-foot across tank, which, by the way, I'm currently keeping a close eye on that guy right there, that sand diver who's, I don't know, he might just be, when I got him, he was already a decent size, and he's been like at full size for a bit now. I don't know, maybe he's just nearing the end of his life, and they don't live that super long, right? But so that might be the case with him, but I've been watching him very closely. He's just kind of lumbering around. He's lost interest in food. His tail has no damage on it, so I know nobody's chasing him. But anyway, he's a great fish, and I might move him and try some salt, a little bit of salt. And he's not bloated. He doesn't really have a super sunken belly. I don't know. He might just be old. Sometimes the moving and the treating ends up being enough stress to kind of end up killing him off. So I'm kind of reluctant to do that. But we'll see. We'll see where that goes. So here's mess number one. This is a Higer tank that I set up a while back, and just wasn't really happy with it. And I was having trouble with the filter compartment. It was trapping fish, and now it's just become a fixture in this fish room. I was thinking of possibly setting it up as a guppy tank or something for my granddaughter, but that project is probably a few months away and maybe a few years away. But now it's just become a fixture, and of course when you have a fixture, things start to accumulate on it. I got a controller, a couple coasters on there, and anyway, it's just a mess. Now, if you go behind the tank, take a look at this thing. This is insane back here. If you can even make it out. Here's a 40 pound, right? That's a propane tank on wheels, and the purpose of that propane tank is to provide power to this Duramax in that box back there. That's a big giant generator, and I've got the 50 amp plug and socket, receptacle on top, and then on top of that I've got the pump that I use to drain the bigger tanks, right? I use that pump there, and of course I got tripods and lighting, and my bicycle, and a 60-gallon acrylic tank that was originally going to be a sump, but it didn't fit. I couldn't get it under the tank, and I didn't want to cut the side of the 300, so there it is. And it's got a box up here with some old heater boxes. I'll probably just throw those away. I don't need them anymore. But that's the ugly behind the 300-gallon. Here's the 29-gallon. I've gone ahead and thinned out a lot of the hornwort, so it looks a little bit cleaner, and it's kind of warm enough now where I think I'm going to take out this extra heater. I don't think I need this extra heater anymore. And you can see my little eel down there. He is so cute. And you got the rainbows, little dwarf rainbows. I almost got it where they'll eat out of my hand. Now here's a vac down here, right? A shop vac. Everybody should have a shop vac. But then there's like a 50-pound bag of kitty litter. I don't know why I've got that there. I think I want to put it under the deck outside so when it rains we don't get puddles. But I don't know why I'm holding on to that. And then there's another sump. Here's a glass, a beautiful brand new glass sump. It's about 29 gallons. Absolutely gorgeous the way it was made. Absolutely beautiful. But I don't really have use for it right now. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to give it to my friend, one of the first friends I made here when I came to Nashville, a fellow named John. And John was the fellow who sold me the substrate that is actually in this tank right here that so many of you have commented on that you like so much. He sold it to me. Lapis luster. He says he got it from California. And, you know, we just stayed in touch, became friends, fishy friends. And I think he's going to come over and pick that up. You can see the fish here in the 90 gallon, looking good. One of the Buenos Aires tetras I noticed has been a little bit aggressive, the biggest one there. And he's going after mostly the other Buenos Aires tetras, but I think I saw him take a nip of one of the Congos, and if I see a lot of that, I'm just going to have to remove him, maybe even remove all the Buenos Aires tetras, because they're plant destroyers, they're nippy, so I'm not sure if I want that kind of fish in the tank. Everybody else seems to be pretty mellow. I mean, the geos go after each other, of course, and look at the forehead on the geos. No sign of a hole in the head with any of them, so that we're way past that now. These electric blue Ocharas, I think, are just absolutely stunning. Some of my favorite fish, actually. We've got a Heckelei. This plant needs a good scrub down. It's got a lot of brown on it. I've added some phosphate pads to the filters on this tank, and also to the filters on the 300, because it tends to get brown on those plastic plants, and it's just a real chore to try and get them clean. So I usually have to pull them out and put them through a bleach process. I've put some of those Aquarium Co-op phosphate pads in the hope that I can slow down some of the brown that can accumulate on these plants and then require me to pull them out. And I put them in bleach, just a little bit of bleach, right? Like maybe, I don't know, a quarter cup in a 5-gallon bucket for 24 hours. And then I give them a good rinse. And then I go ahead and keep them in that same bucket for another 24 hours with a little bit of Seachem Prime or Fritz Complete. Kind of like the way you would recharge Purigen. So by the time they go back in the tank, they're completely safe. That Buccochromis, Rhodesii yellow, absolutely stunning. So back here, other projects and nonsense. You can see the big generator box right there, and the 25 foot 50 amp cord, and the 50 amp receptacle in that top box. So I've got to get that assembled and set up and ready. Last night we had an electrical storm. I was kind of sweating bullets. Here's just a pile of nonsense, that from fishing poles to dog carrying cases. This actually is a big Rubbermaid bin that in a pinch could really serve as an emergency tank. Let's say a tank sprung a leak, or I had to quarantine a fish and didn't have anywhere to put them. That would work right there. So I recommend people keep Rubbermaids around. This one has a 1-inch hose in it that I can attach to the fluval if I ever want to drain it. A bunch of other stuff in here, just bins that I'm going to be gradually getting rid of. And back here, I recently did a plumbing project, but for a long time now I've had a problem with this gate valve. It's called a gate valve. I don't know if you can make it out there, but with this lighting. But that gate valve has been a slow leak, just an occasional drip. No matter what I do, I can't get it to stop. So you can see there's a bucket with just a little bit of moisture in the bottom. It's cemented, so it's going to have to get cut out and replaced. I can't find a gate valve with unions for like under $100, so I'm just going to go with a ball valve, a real high quality ball valve with unions on both sides. I still have the table out. This is the table where I was demonstrating and showing you the new sump. And so this table is gonna get broken down. Probably wash this black blanket. These are some of the pieces that I had to cut where the tank actually pours into the sump. I had to replace these pieces with longer pieces. The good news is the sump is running fantastic, and I'm just loving it. You know, I don't know if I get this open with one hand. Let's see. Yep. There you go. I'm just loving this sump. Just running like a champ. Quiet, clean. Really happy I made that transition. And of course, that brings me to the old sump, which is laying right here. I removed the baffles and I used a razor blade to take all the silicone off. And I'll probably end up either keeping it as an emergency backup, because it's a perfectly good tank, or I'll probably just put it on Craigslist and give it away. And I also have the holders for the socks, the 4-inch socks. I have 2 of those. So the question is, where do I put this tank? I mean, I'm out of storage space, and I guess it's a good problem. Hey, buddy. He's rarely out. Such a beautiful guy. Loves to redecorate. All this substrate was completely level a few days ago, and as you can see, he's sloped it all towards the front. So you got bare bottom in the back of the tank, and you know, a 10-inch, 10 inches of substrate in the front. Well, you want to see another mess? I'll show you another mess. This is called the light graveyard. I've got some new lights in here, and also the lights that I took off the tanks when Aquarium Co-op hooked me up with their lights. So I've got some boxes and a lot of light fixtures. If you're in Nashville and you need a light, contact me. I'll probably give you a real good deal. I've got other stuff, siphon kits, CO2 regulators, all kinds of stuff that I've received over the years, as well as caves, towels, just a bunch of good stuff. Here's my little pleco tank. Thinned out some of the hornwort there, and that big piece of driftwood that was in the middle broke, so it's not sticking out the top anymore. So I'm able to use a more traditional cover, which looks a lot cleaner. And the piece that broke off, I'm just using it on the bottom here. The plecos love that wood. They're just chewing on it all the time. And usually he's hiding behind his cave. I'm surprised. Little bonus footage. You saw my last video. You know, I put some new plants. Several new plants in here. They seem to be doing okay. The jungle valve is getting trimmed back by one of the fish. Not sure which one, but this is a new plant I picked up over at the Aquatic Critter. I really like it a lot. And I've got some other plants in here from my friends at Aquarium Co-op. I've created a Anubias and hornwort salad right there in the middle of that piece of driftwood. I think it looks pretty good. Fish are all doing great. These albino ocaras are putting on size, and pretty soon we'll be ready to go over to the 90-gallon. Okay, ready for more mess? Here's my bucket area. There's one of the baffles from the 29-gallon. Of course, I'm drying some buckets that I used over the last couple days. Bunch of miscellaneous storage items. And here's all my meds and water conditioners, everything from garlic guard to salt. And I got some storage up in there. I'm not even going to show you inside of these cabinets. This tank is ready. I'm going to be getting some fish from Josh over at Cunningham Tropicals. I still got a little baby in there. You see him near the top? So I'm going to have to pull him out. If you can make him out, that little dot out there. That's a little baby, probably a rainbow. Really cute. Got a good sized pleco down here under the filter. You can make him out. Okay, one more mess. These are projects and product reviews that I'm supposed to be doing. And it's just a whole variety of good, good stuff in there. But I just haven't had a chance to review it, and I feel guilty because people send me these products and I just haven't had a chance to get to them. So someday I will. Get some miscellaneous storage here, including some tools and drills. I like this live bear tank a lot more since I cleaned up that hornwort. It was just out of control. It looks a lot cleaner. So there's the ugly underbelly of my fish room. So one more stack of foods and miscellaneous items that I'm storing in Rubbermaid containers. So now you know what it looks like, and I'm going to be concentrating. Talk about spring cleaning, right? I'm going to be doing a lot of spring cleaning, getting all this cleaned up, and so that eventually there's room to move everything back. I want to expand all the tanks so that they're further back against that back wall. That means I have to get rid of probably half of those black and yellow containers, and then be able to expand this middle area, where I sit and relax occasionally. There's my ergonomic executive chair. I want to be able to just be down here and relax and not be so heavily distracted by the complete mess that exists back here. So that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this long journey. And even though I complain about the mess in here, which is no one's fault except my own, I'm having a heck of a lot of fun with this fish room and a heck of a lot of fun with these fish. And I'm really enjoying the interaction with all of you. And that makes it really all worthwhile. So thank you, everybody. And again, if you like the channel, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell, and I hope to see you on Saturday for the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. See you later. Bye-bye.